So, you know, Ted Kaplan's vision was to teach about urban farming in the city. And what's on top of that building? What's on top of that building over there?
Nothing.
It's a roof.
A roof.
What's on top of that? The roof.
Sunshine.
An empty space.
An empty space.
So we might as well use it to grow food. So the idea was to teach about urban farming using rooftops. Joni is absolutely right that the idea of these buildings was also a concept that was promoted. The rooftop is the easier way to go. So we teach about hydroponic farming on the science board. And most of you guys know hydroponics. You're using water and nutrients to grow your food. People talk about what you need soil. Hydroponic farm, do you think we need soil, Samantha? No soil.
She's been planting our tower garden, so she's
so,
got her fingers in it.
So, how many of you guys know this material? Have you seen it? Yeah.
I know. Bill's saying, "Where'd you get it?" Because we went to Home Depot and I've been to the Dobbs Hardware and they don't have it.
We just went over that. There's a place on Yonkers Avenue. We were just there.
Okay.
I'll give you the plug.
I don't like internet shopping. I was born in '62.
Now it's recorded.
Hold on 1 second, gang. We're going to get over there in a little bit. This young man is demonstrating something. Squeeze that. Squeeze a little harder.
That's not just
We're rocking because we're floating a little bit, so you may have to balance on your knees a little bit. You're on a boat. Yeah, what kind of material do you think? What kind? Yeah. What kind of material do you think this is? It's this stuff right here. No. It's actually rock wool.
It's a spun mineral product, and it's I use it in insulation as well, and it's made from the waste of the quarry industry, so it's totally environmental.
It's basalt.
Yeah. Oh, is it basalt? This one?
Basalt.
This is all basalt.
So the great thing about basalt, the Dutch invented it. They wanted to use it as an insulation. But what was the downside of the insulation?
It gets wet and then it loses its insulation value.
So they do use it as insulation. They have to treat it. So the neat thing about this is our seed table. And Ann Megaro, that's our grower, she actually takes these sheets up to school. And some of the developmentally disabled kids, they love to sow seeds. So each one of these holes gets a seed. And I call it the magic of the seed, but I'm always blown away by what happens.
Yeah.
I'm blown away, you know, this, a tiny seed. So the plants stay here for about 2 weeks. This is an interesting plant. This is the one plant on the table you can't eat.
Mimosa?
Oh, you're on the ball. This is Mimosa pudica. How many of you guys know the sensitivity plant? Maybe from your country? If you touch it, the leaves move. It's called the sleepy plant.
Oh yeah, I have those.
Yeah.
When I go there, I like to play with them.
Oh, yeah.
This is like,
So that's one of our favorite plants. This is going to be a climbing spinach. Climbing spinach.
Climbing spinach.
We're trying it this year. Joanne, have you ever tried climbing spinach?
Actually, I think the guys are just planting it now. That's one of, they've tried a couple different, so I think I have one of them at home in my tower garden.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun
Yeah.
to see what it does.
For
It's a
whatever
vine?
reason- For whatever reason, it's not taking off. Not taking off.
When you say it's not taking off, what's the indication? Just too slow?
Well, I just can hear 2 weeks and,
Takes a long time for it to go.
yeah, they get started. Come on over here, I need a volunteer.
Oh, me.
Here's a volunteer. No, you can be, who wants to be a volunteer?
You got one here, Stephanie's.
Okay, somebody, okay, pull this hose out.
This?
Yep. Then I need another volunteer down the other end. Let's see. Joni, you go with this guy with the flower shirt, my kind of guy. Go down the other end.
What are we doing?
What do you hear down there? Put your ear.
I hear some
Yeah,
flowing.
water. Oh, cool. What do we have up here is water. So this is a nutrient film system. A nutrient film system. So this is probably the most productive system we have in hydroponics. You know, we go from the table to the end product 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Are you doing that in the soil-based agriculture?
No, not the soil-based, no, but definitely in the aeroponics, 6 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, 6 weeks.
Boy, what's the comparison with soil? What would it be in soil?
I don't know the exact,
Depends
you know,
on the
and
lettuce, but up to 12 weeks on the lettuce.
12.
Yeah, yeah, if we put it in now, it'll be mid-July until it actually comes up. You know, where you can use it.
remember
Wow.
those little rock-wool cubes we had over there? Rock-wool cubes? They were just a little cube. What do we have coming out of them now? The roots, yeah. Why don't the plants get overwatered? They're sitting in water. You know,
Well,
they're sitting in water. But the magic is it's flowing water. So the plants are smart, the roots are smart, they only take what they need. And, oops, somebody come over here and take a picture. Come over here, Doctor.
You got a camera?
Come over and take a picture because this has to be the most beautiful row
It
of
is the most
vegetables
beautiful row of vegetables I've
you've
ever seen.
And the great thing about hydroponics, do you see dirt? I love dirt myself. Joni, do you see dirt on these
I
plants?
don't, I'm jealous.
So a lot of part of farming is you have to clean your vegetables off. With hydroponics, it's ready to go. So this is called a nutrient film system, and if you put your fingers in the end of these tubes, you'll feel the ribs. So
Yeah.
it's you can make your own out of PVC pipe, you know, in a simple aquarium pump, and it works. You just have the simple, you know, you just have gravity helping you. You have an aquarium pump, a 75-watt aquarium pump. They cost $15. Some PVC pipe, holes, rock wool. And what else do you need? What's the most important thing at all? Sunlight. Well, you need, yep.
And a nutrient solution, I
Yeah,
imagine.
nutrient solution, right. So, hold on, gang. Let me talk about nutrients a minute. The doctor brought up an important thing. You know, what do we do for nutrients? Nutrients, plants need nutrients. So, believe it or not, 2 years ago, I had 2 Asian gentlemen come on the barge. They were only 4 feet 5 inches tall. They were both small men, polyester suits. And you look down at their shoes, they were black work boots, and they were scuffed. And Michael Singero, that worked with us from Nairobi, Kenya, he gave them the tour. And then he pointed to me and he said, "They're here for the recipes." I said, "They're here for the recipes." But these 2 gentlemen from Bhutan, somehow they had heard about the science barge and they were here for the formulas we use for the nutrients. And Jen Melkin, the greenhouse person that worked for Sunwork, she designed these nutrient recipes. So the 2 gentlemen, they got out their cell phone cameras. I flipped each page for them. They took a picture. And guess what they did to me? They shook my hand. They said, "Thank you very much." And now they gangway. It was like industrial espionage. So the formula is you can buy regular mixed nutrients. In fact, the gang who was talking about using organic nutrients in their tower systems, you can do that. So it's, but as far as commercial production, you know, these formulas, you know, work consistently. And Jen Nelkin is out in Queens now running Gotham Green. It's a commercial greenhouse that sells vegetables to the New York City restaurants. Who's at the fish? Who's a fish person? Come on, you gotta feed the fish.
I have one of those at home.
Yeah.
I did not realize there were fish in there.
Yeah. So we had what we call a nutrient film technique across the room. This is aquaponics. Aquaponics. Who wants to feed the fish? So some of you guys are probably saying to yourself, yep. You're saying to yourself, the science barge is an urban farmer who's supposed to be raising food. Food. Young lady, have you ever eaten a goldfish? No. Ask me if I've ever eaten a goldfish. When I was in college. I did. So anyway, I've raised tilapia in here. I've raised catfish. Catfish are shy. Tilapia can be territorial. I had a giant catfish living on my coffee table at home because he was a mean catfish, you know,
Wow.
mean tilapia. So eventually I took the mean tilapia over to the tropical fish store, and guess what I traded them for?
Goldfish.
Goldfish. What's the benefit of goldfish? What are goldfish? They're the friendliest fish.
Oh, yeah,
The
they're
cocker spaniel of fish. On the weekend, we have probably 50 kids a day, and they can feed the goldfish, and they make them happy. So the idea is we have the nutrients from
They don't hide like
the
tilapia.
goldfish waste,
Tilapia hide.
and we use that as the nutrients for the plant. Have you been up to Cabbage Hill Farm yet?
No, sir.
It's up in Mount Kisco. It's run by the Colburn Foundation. They run a commercial fish farm. You know, they're practicing aquaponics. So they're raising tilapia, they're raising catfish, striped bass, basically using a similar system to this. So this is what we call an ebb and flow system. Ebb and flow. What do you think these are? You guys have an idea? Young lady, what's that? No, I'm talking to you here. Hold on, I'm going to give you something to hold.
Oh,
What's that?
I was just asking, what is this?
What the heck is that? You're right.
What is?
Clay pellets.
Are they blown?
They're expanded.
Expanded, yeah.
Yeah, so the crazy thing is we were importing these from Germany. Hydrotides from Germany. So then we found some local suppliers. There's actually a place up in New Milford Farms in Connecticut that makes a similar product. So again, look at this lettuce. Swiss chard, it's amazing. Lightweight. What do you call this stuff? What do you need for a plant, for its roots? Did you ever hear the word substrate? That's what these clay pellets are. They're a substrate. Yeah, it can. Yep.
So they're acting as a structure, but are they also acting for wicking? Are they allowing wicking to go on?
Yeah, actually you're right, because if you pull these up, we don't want to pull them right there, but if you pull them up, they wick the moisture up.
Yeah.
So it's
Does help like distribute it among the roots or
Yeah.
something like that?
the roots are amazing. They'll find moisture where it is. So depending on what plants we pull, just, you know, at the end of the season, this spray is matted with roots. You know, so
Or are
Jennifer,
there any actual nutrients in the clay? Or is that
no nutrients. Yeah,
That's just like a medium then.
right. It's just it's a neutral medium. No pH, no nutrients. So
Can we assume that over time some of the solid material from the fish waste is collecting and creating a sludge at the bottom?
Absolutely.
Now, is that something you want to keep there or remove?
Absolutely. We want worms. We want a living system. So in Australia, they're big on, they don't like hydrotons. They'd rather grow in gravel.
Oh, okay.
And they don't clean their beds at all.
Okay.
You know, so the best thing to have in your aquaponic beds is worms. You know, so, you know, it's a whole living system. Come on to the tree house.
It's pretty cool.
That is very cool. The pressing question before you leave that is, given that you've got these wonderfully worked out formulas for optimal growth,
Yes.
how are you measuring the concentrations of the various nutrients in the fish waste? Do you not worry about it?
That is a wonderful question. I was waiting for somebody to ask.
I was waiting to ask it.
So if you look at every little tank here, there's a formula. And it gives two measurements. The electrical conductivity.
That's like every day. I know, it feels like that.
There's two measurements on the tank. One is electrical conductivity and one is pH.
Right.
So the formulas are written on each tank, so each tank gets measured each day.
Okay.
And normally, the tank with the fish really doesn't have to be adjusted. But we might have to adjust the pH. But usually the electrical conductivity is within range.
Okay.
So these tanks, I was just looking for the meter. I don't see it on the table. So
We're also exploring how we could do continuous monitoring using Arduino microcontrollers that we can get data on an SD card, but we can't find any pH meter that's inexpensive that lets you just stick it in solution. Seems like they'll develop a film or something, and it's a big pain.
But I tell you, that's why, in a way, you have to go up to Cabbage Hill Farm. Because they're doing a product and it's, you know, they're doing it every day commercially. So there must be a way that they're doing it with their tanks, because they have too many tanks to be...
Yeah, they go and spot test every single tank.
They might be doing this.
Because the conductivity would be easy to measure. It's just the pH. We've got some Arduino compatible pH sensors that I purchased, but we're skittish about just leaving them inside the tank.
Give the guys a call at Sunset View because after you left, they just installed something.
Oh, okay.
So,
Hooked up to the computer and everything, gives them all their...
the readouts, yeah, that's...
And Bill, do you notice that that's exactly what we bought today? An Aero Garden 6. Is this the 6?
No. I have to show you the light.
It's the light for Aero Garden.
It might be the first one.
Somebody's discovered the Canadian goose nest. So if you look over to the other side of that plywood, that's the Canadian goose.
That's what it wants.
It is? But it'd be cute. Is it trying to scare you away?
I know. Mighty Hudson.
When we were here last year, all of these vines were completely grown over. You have to start every year anew?
Yeah, see, in the spring it's almost not, you know, these are peas. They just started. The tomato plant we brought down once. We had to bring them back home. This spring it's been so cold.
Yeah, it was
They weren't that happy plants. So anyway. Okay, gang, once you take a look, come back over. You know, you'll get upset at you.
No cruelty to animals. No molesting the goose.
So we measure the EC, which is electrical conductivity, and fertilizer is what? It's a salt. It's a salt. The more fertilizer you have in it.
This is key, you guys. This there will be a quiz on. Either in class or in club, or when I send you out to the garden and you grow food. Now, this is a very important concept.
Okay, so Fertilizer is a salt. So when we mix up our magic formula that we have from Jenny Nelson and we add it to the tank, the more we add, the higher we call the conductivity. So when you're using a meter, you know, to measure electrical conductivity in those numbers, guess what you're measuring?
pH.
Well, the next step is pH, but electrical conductivity is ions. The more salt, the more ions you have bouncing around in the water. So that's what you're measuring.
Bigger the electric shock you would get.
Okay, so, you know, and pH, we always measure the electrical conductivity first, because that can change the pH of the water. So each plant, each system has a different pH number, so we adjust to that. What's the problem with having 2 meters? We have 2 meters. It's like having 2 watches. You're never sure what number is right. So you're always better off when sticking with 1 meter. You know, just calibrating, make sure it reads accurately and use that meter.
Oh, no kidding, of course.
So it's
So you'd
that-
rather just have a single meter and do all your sampling and have that bias built in than try to go, oh, you take this meter and you go take this
no,
meter.
they tried doing that. 2 meters screws up the whole system. So come here, gang. How do you think we treat bugs, bad bugs in the greenhouse?
You get poisons in your
No. This is, we're not organic as far as our fertilizer, but we're pesticide free. So we bring in, if we have an outbreak of aphids, we'll bring in ladybugs, or we'll bring in different types of parasitic wasps, and they'll handle the bugs, you know, for us. One problem we have is downy mildew. Did you have an outbreak of downy mildew 2 years ago?
You guys in the greenhouse did, yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing.
It was horrible.
I know, and guess who they blamed? They blamed me. They said we don't have enough ventilation. So, but it was all over the place. It was even on pansies. Who's good about good bugs and bad bugs? Come on over here. This is the $1 million quiz. Okay, so pick a bug out and tell me whether it's good or bad.
Good one.
Okay, pull it off.
What is it?
Looks like a bee.
Hold on. Just flip
Devils.
it over. Flip it over. Can I read it for you?
Yeah, guys.
This is the devil's coat choice. The devil's coat choice. It's a flightless predator of the soil. They eat larvae, flatworms, and slugs. It's a plus one. So that's a good bug. That's a bad bug. Somebody put that down on the bottom for me. Okay, this is a bad bug. This one likes beer. Sounds familiar? I can go for a beer. This is the infamous garden slug.
That's where you kill them.
Beer.
Is beer? Okay.
Beer.
This mollusk can eat 30 times its weight in one day and prefers vegetables and flowers. It's a -1. Ooh.
You never get a slug here, though, because it's
No,
a soil thing.
we never get a slug.
You only get flying bugs here.
A good one.
Oh, that's what you see.
Okay, somebody do it. You want to read that for me? This is a-
Feeding on decomposing matter in the soil, earthworms aerate the soil and help recycle important nutrients.
+1.
Earthworms. Earthworms are good.
Now, these are all the variety that were brought to the United States, right? Redworms?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, they're not native to here, but they're
Well,
been
now,
here forever.
you're right.
Yeah.
So,
Good one.
a good one.
Yeah.
Okay,
course.
do me a favor.
You're the students
Show this
do
one
it.
and read it to me.
You and I are ringers.
A bumblebee.
So no, what's that then?
The workers can fly even in very cool weather, so they pollinate many garden flowers. +1.
Yeah.
Now, bumblebees.
Do you have? Oh, it's the big fat one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm always throwing.
That's the one we had in the Mercy
You want to pick
greenhouse
one, Jody?
the other
Go
day.
ahead. Give it a shot.
You know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for a soldier fly.
A soldier
But they're mostly southern. Maybe they don't.
They don't.
I had some once.
Right.
You know about soldier
Got it.
flies?
No.
Can I do this one?
Can I tell you something?
Sure.
Here, you guys finish this. I'll give you a little soldier fly tutorials. They're great. They're going to save the earth.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to tell you all about them.
All right.
Do you know about them?
I don't.
Show it up in the air.
Yeah.
You're teaching now.
This is good. This many-legged creature preys upon fly prey, slugs in time, weevils without damaging plants. What is it? It's good. It's a centipede.
A centipede. Whoa.
Is it good for humans?
How many legs does a centipede have? Does anybody know?
Like 40.
Presumably 100. No, a cent is 100, but, you know, who's counting?
It's how many he could afford for 1 cent. It changes year to year with inflation.
So this is cool. So, okay, so we're gonna see.
Is that a beetle? What's that? Is that a bad beetle?
Hold
Because
on.
I've been killing grubs all season.
Wait, so,
Gourd beetle eat. Oh, that's good.
hold it up.
Oh, that's a
Hold
good.
it up.
That's a good beetle.
Is it a good beetle?
It's a ground beetle. Ground beetles eat worms, slugs, snails, and root maggots, which can be detrimental. So we like a ground beetle.
This is the wrong accent you used. You should have said this ground beetle can be very good.
Yeah,
Eating a root.
not while you're filming.
Okay, we're gonna look at 2 more hydroponic systems and then we're gonna go outside. I'm gonna introduce you to Jennifer. Hi there. This is Jennifer Sloan, gang.
This is the Jennifer Sloan. Hello, the Jennifer Sloan. You're famous.
Oh, am I? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, my hands are a little wet. Thank
To
you.
see you.
From where?
We're from Mercy College.
No, where am I famous from?
Oh, you're famous from knowledge with knowing Joni and knowing people from
You've heard my
Anthony
name
Murray.
a couple times.
Yes.
Oh, thank you guys for coming down today. Are you guys all sustainability students then?
This is Envisaj Mercy, the Environmental Sustainability and Justice Club of Mercy College.
Excellent. So you're all future friends of the science cards then, right?
And past friends, because Abigail has come here on numerous occasions since the club. He's our club
Jennifer
president.
has an Indiegogo campaign going we do for an outdoor classroom.
Yeah, so we do a lot of programming here because I really think in order to have a more sustainable future, it makes sense to educate as many youth as possible. And we do a lot of really great programming here on the Barge. We cover grades 1 through 12. However, we don't like to cancel programs on people, so we run it even in inclement weather. So that whole corner of the greenhouse over there, with the tables and chairs, it sits there empty pretty much most of the time. Because anytime we have a nice day like today, our program takes place on these benches. So for me, it doesn't make sense to have a bunch of empty tables and chairs over there, but we need them there in case we have a rainy day, we can move the kids inside. Also, the capacity is pretty small, so that means we have to limit our group sizes. In case there's a rainy day, we can only really fit 30 to 35 students. A lot of groups want to bring a couple classes at a time in order to be able to afford it, so they want like 40 to 45 max, and we can't really allow that. So by building a pavilion on the south wing of the Barge where we were before, it would allow us to create an outdoor classroom space that's still all weather. So it would, have a rooftop over our heads and retractable acrylic walls to keep out rain and high winds. And then we could do all of our beginning starts programs and all of our activities out there. And it would just open up a quarter of the greenhouse over here. So imagine if we can grow 144 plants in 1/4 of the greenhouse over here, we can have a lot more growing power and potential if we can grow over there as well. So I have 10 days left on my Indiegogo campaign. If you go to Indiegogo.com and just look up Science Barge or Education Pavilion, you'll find our campaign. We have donations starting at $5 and going all the way to $2,000. So generous as you feel like being, and there's lots of really fun perks. So you can click on the perk on the right-hand side, and for instance, the $25 level perk, you actually get a harvest from this system over here. Our first harvest can go for you for pickup, and onwards and upwards from there. So please tell your friends and family. Only have 10 days to go. We have that we want to make 14,000. I know that's not going to happen. I kind of always suspected it wouldn't, because Indiegogo normally they want somebody that's going to be inventing something new, not just putting a pavilion on a really cool thing. But I was really hoping we'd make like 3 to 4 at least, and I still think that's very much within our reach, but every donation helps. And that we already have a grant to build the pavilion, so everything else is just building the rest of it to make it all weather, to maybe make it have audio-visual capabilities and stuff in it too, so we can run movies and stuff out there. It'd be a really great place to do fundraisers in the future. Have some summer weekday evening hours out there. People are hanging out under the benches underneath the pavilion and enjoy the river. And also, by the way, we don't have any shade structure on the barge. So you can imagine our summers in July when we do programs out there, not just for rainy days. It'd be great to have some really permanent shade out there to escape the heat on the barge too. So please spread the word. Thank you for mentioning that.